Next topic. I mean, what else I want to talk about? Okay, I want to talk about Tiger Brand's special dividend, right? So I want to talk about Tiger Brand's special dividend. So Tiger Brands, they declared a special dividend a couple of, what is it, days ago? Or in fact, they communicated that their special dividend was or has been approved by the Reserve Bank, because when a company issues a special dividend, usually it's because of this reason and the other, and it requires some regulational approval, right? And usually it's the Reserve Bank. So they said they'd gotten the approval they needed from the Reserve Bank. So let's see. I'm gonna pull up that article here. Tiger Brand special. Yeah. Okay, there it goes. Yeah, there it goes. So, Tiger Brands announced a finalization, or this was a document relating to finalization information. What the hell? Regarding the special dividend, God. So, shareholders are referred to the company's dividend declaration announcement of 26 November 2025, in which the company declared a gross special dividend of 27.10 cents. God damn. Per ordinary share, which nets to about 21.68 cents per ordinary share. God damn. So, the special dividend is 27 rand per share. That's a lot of money for a dividend. So, a special dividend, what is it, to be honest? Special dividend comes from usually if extraordinary things happen in a financial year. So usually it's things like, say a company was being sued or they were going through a lawsuit, someone was suing them. And then when they're going through the lawsuit, they had to reserve some cash. I mean, assuming they're going to lose the lawsuit, right? But then say they don't lose the lawsuit. I mean, this happened with Coronation. Coronation declared a special dividend as well. I think it was last year or some. Because I think they went through the same thing. I think special dividend was like 700 million or something. Yeah. This was Coronation last year. So this was 19 August 2024. And the dividend was 153 cents per share, which is like 153 cents, 1 rand 53 cents. 1 rand 53 cents per share. So now contrast that 1 rand 53 cents per share to 27 rands per share by Tiger Brands. Man, Tiger Brands is that old dog. You know, that ever reliable dog that is always there. And you don't expect it to do a lot, you know? It doesn't bark a lot, doesn't make a lot of noise. Ayikhonkothi, iphuma ishaya izinyo kuphela. That's Tiger Brands. I mean, they're an old dog, man. Like, they're not excited. They're running through the streets. They're doing all the tricks and impressing the neighbors and stuff like that. That's not Tiger Brands, bro. Like, Tiger Brands is that old dog is cartel, but it's reliable, right? It's reliable. Making new puppies every year. Biting every intruder in the house every year, making it easy. Like, that's Tiger Brands, and it makes sense. Like earlier on, I talked about like printing cash and cash generative businesses. Like, Tiger Brands is a cash generative business, and you look at their brands, they pretty much own the whole cupboard. Like from Cool, Cross and Blackwell, All Gold, Jungle Oats, Oros, Maynards, Energade, Ingrams, Camphor, Doom, Testic. Bruh, you travel across South Africa, you're going to find all these brands in every one of us' cupboards. Uzothola lezi zinto. Sidla lezi zinto lezi. But you guys remember the Camphor? Do you guys remember the Camphor advert? Confused why in the advert. Do you guys remember the Camphor advert? Oh man. That was a classic. Camphor cream advert. There you go. I was watching it a couple of days ago, I think. Yeah, there we go. Wait. Hi everyone, Rabelan, you keep going in and out. Hlala, we're gonna learn a lot. If anything, go to YouTube. Come join me on YouTube, buffet to. Nah. Kev was legendary. This advert right here. This advert right here was legendary. And that's Tiger Brands. Tiger Brands they own pretty much all the biggest brands in our cupboard. Testic, Doom. I mean, it's summer right now. My cockroach are everywhere. We're using Doom. So that's how they're a cash generative business that just keeps paying dividends every year, pretty much, right? And they're not loud in terms of share price, which their share price is on you, their share price is volatile, and you're gonna enter 10,000 and turn your 10,000 to 100,000. It's possible, but that's not Tiger Brands' thing or Tiger Brands' nature as a business. They're a cash generative business that produces value, right? Like all the brands that they sell, that's like grounded brands that produce cash, whether it's summer or it's winter, or it doesn't matter. They produce cash. I mean, look at this dividend. They paid in July 415 cents per share, which is like 415 cents. 415 cents they paid a dividend, and this is like what? 2 July 2025, right? And now they're paying 27.10. 27.10. Trading at what right now? 382. 382 rand. And they're recovering. If you look at this share price, they're recovering. Like Tiger Brands is recovering. Like they went through like a whole 2019. What's this? 2019, yeah. 2020, yeah. This is the slump, so 2020, I guess. Oh yeah, they had listeriosis. You guys remember listeriosis? So there was a listeriosis outbreak 2017, 2018. You could see like it really hindered them a lot. Like they lost a lot of money. A lot of their valuation, in fact. But oh man, it was in quarter 9 listeriosis. Listeriosis was what, 2017, 2018. And Tiger Brands, I want to think Tiger Brands owns the company. Tiger Brands owns the company egulisa abantu, ukudla kwabo okugulisa abantu. Let's see. The 2017-2018 South African listeriosis outbreak was a widespread outbreak of Listeria monocytogenes food poisoning that resulted from contaminated processed meat produced by Enterprise Foods, a subsidiary of Tiger Brands. Oh my goodness, in Polokwane. So there were 1,060 confirmed cases of listeriosis during the outbreak, and about 216 deaths. God damn. Kwashona abantu konje listeriosis. Yo. And you see why. Like you can see it in the chat. Like clearly it's there. So then COVID came. It's like 1 month, but you can see they kept rebounding. And in fact, it seemed like the only thing that stopped this falling from the cliff was COVID, and I think people sort of went back to Tiger Brands because during COVID people were looking for available companies to put their money in. Abantu babengasebenzi, abantu babehleli emakhaya, you know. So people went into the stock market, some invested, or a lot of people invested, in fact. So that's Tiger Brands. So this dividend of 27.10 rand or 27.10 cents, it nets to 21.68 cents, 21 rand 68 cents. So the reason why it's 21 rand 68 is because of dividend tax. So when a company calls Lama dividends, what happens is it gets taxed, right? But it doesn't get taxed kuwena, right? It's the company who pays on your behalf. So by the time your money ifika kuwena, it's already taxed. So let's see how much is probably 20%, 2160, 2710. Yeah, it's like 20%. So 20% of dividend tax, and then you're gonna get paid 21 rand 68 cents per share. So the payment of the special dividend is subject to the approval of the South African Reserve Bank. Shareholders are therefore advised that the South African Reserve Bank approval has now been obtained, and the silent date in respect of the ordinary share or ordinary and special dividend as announced on 26 November remain unchanged as follows. So they have like 4 dates here. So the first date is something called the cum dividend date. So the cum dividend date is like the last date you can buy shares if you want to if you want to participate in this dividend, right? So the 13th of January, which is like I think Tuesday next week, is the last date for you to buy Tiger Brand shares. If you buy them before or on the 13th of January, then you're gonna get the dividend. If you don't, bye-bye. So on the next cycle. So shares commence trading ex the ordinary and special dividend on Wednesday, 14 January. So the next day, the shares will be basically the dividend would have expired. You didn't buy in time, so you're not gonna participate in the dividend. It's pretty straightforward. So the recording date to determine those shareholders entitled to the ordinary and special dividend is Friday. So he registered bazolithatha on Friday, right? Friday, 16 January. And then the monies will be paid on 19 January, which is the following Monday. Right? So how much is 2168 and how do you think of it? So let's assume you own like 500 shares of Tiger Brands. You're probably gonna get you're gonna get 10,840, right? That's your dividend if you owned 500 shares of Tiger Brands. That's 10,850. But then how much do the 500 shares cost? Abiza malini lama 500 shares. For you to get 10,840, how much do you have to invest? So it's like 382. Let's say 500 times 382. It's 191,000. 191,000 divided by 10,840 divided by 191,000. It's like 5.6%. So the Tiger Brands is what we call it's not dividend yield. So dividend yield, like you can't because this is a special dividend. But that's like 5.6% return, right? On this special dividend. Just assuming. Let's see. 2710 divided by 380. Yeah, but Tiger Brands has like 7.9%. So there's something called the dividend yield. So let's see. There's something called the dividend yield. So dividend yield, you just say dividend per share divided by share price. So right now it's at what, 382%. So if you were to just calculate, assuming just like hold everything constant, this special dividend alone is like 7%, right? But usually this number is calculated using like amount dividends for the whole year. So a company would pay dividends in June or 6 months into the financial year, and then they would pay another dividend at the end of the year. So if they paid R1 after 6 June and then they paid R1 at the end, so that'll be R2 of dividends, right? So let us assume the share price is what? R10 as well. So R2, you're gonna say R2 divided by the share price, which is R10, right? Then you're gonna get that 40%. No. What am I saying? 20%, right? That's the dividend yield. The dividend yield would be 20% in that instance. So I'm just assuming and holding everything constant and just saying this, right? But anyways, so yeah, that's the special dividend to Tiger Brands is paying. So a special dividend happens when a company does really well. Some companies do really well and then they issue a special dividend, or they were going through a lawsuit like I was explaining before, and then maybe they win the lawsuit, right? But they had already made allowances, or they already made or put money aside just in case they lose the lawsuit so that they could pay, right? So when the money is left after they win a lawsuit, what are you gonna do with it? Send it to the shareholders so they pay shareholders, and that's what happened with Coronation. So I think Coronation, they were having there was a case overseas. I think it was in the UK. Following the success, Coronation Fund managers declared a significant non-recurring. Keyword is non-recurring. It's usually a once-off occasion, once-off in 10 years, once-off in 3, in 10. It hardly happens. But when it happens, it's a rainy day. Like you can see a Tiger Brand, it's a rainy day. So special dividend of 153 cents per share in August 2024, following the successful resolution of a major tax dispute with SARS, which reversed a large provision and boosted earnings. This special payout, paid in September 2024, was separate from the normal final dividend and represented a cash return to shareholders from the recovered tax provision. Yeah. So they had made a tax provision previously, Coronation. And then when they won the case, they paid the money to shareholders in a form of a special dividend, right? So shareholders are referred to the company's special dividends, blah blah blah. But what happened? Why did they special dividend payable? I'm trying to see if there's a reason why they declared the special dividend. The payment is subject to the blah blah blah. So they don't say. So it's either they did really well, or why did So it looks like they sold some companies. Look like they sold. Here we go. This is 26. Oh, here we go. This is the 26 thingy. So it said this was what? Tiger Brands audited group results for the year ended 30 September. Oh, these were year-end results, right? So they said Tiger Brands audited group for the year ended, and the final dividend declaration. Like they always have a dividend. Tiger Brands always have a dividend, pretty much. Tiger Brands delivers a strong set of results for the year ended 30 September 2025, with volume growth and operating margin ahead of guidance, and a declaration of a 4 billion special dividend to shareholders. So this, hey, my goodness. So the total package is 4 billion, right? Which is 27 rands per share. That's crazy. So silent features, continued operation. So revenue increased by 2.7% to 34 billion. Operating income 35%. Milling and baking. Okay, let's see. See if we can find special dividend, man. Milling and baking, blah blah. So basically, they did well. Yeah. Oh yeah, there we go. So there were a total. So there was a total cash proceed of 5 billion from sale of non-core operations. So they basically sold some businesses, and then they raised about 5 billion from Ukdaisalo, those companies, or some of the operations. Let's see. They also say there was an improvement in working capital management, which contributed to 1.2 billion cash flow compared to 746 million inflow in the prior year. So this supported cash generated from operations increased by 1.6 billion to 7.1 billion. God damn. 7.1 from 5.5 the previous year. So that's cash from operations. So the group achieved a notable cash conversion ratio of 90% for the full year of 2025, which was 6% higher than the prior year of 84%. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much, I can see it. So then they're saying on a continued operations basis, EPS increased 50% to 26 rand 62 cents per share from 17 rand 0.76 cents per share the previous year. Oh, they still have an update on the listeriosis. Oh, you see, they have a class act on the listeriosis thing. It's still going on. As previously communicated in the SENS released on 12 May 2025, the company's lead reinsurer, QBE Insurance Group Limited, having primary conduct of the defense of the class action against Tiger Brands, authorized the insurer's attorney to make settlement offers to specific named persons who suffered damage as a result of listeriosis caused by genotype, long as numbers, of Listeria monocytogenes. Engagements between the legal representatives of the parties are continuing as regards the terms of a possible settlement, with a view of finding means to bring finality to the class action litigation. Damn, Tiger Brand is still going through a lawsuit for listeriosis, and it's like 7 years later, 6 years later. And it looks like they're gonna pay. Bazokoka, they're ready to pay. Bazokoka. You know what? They're gonna pay. They're gonna pay. But yeah, I guess that's where the 4 billion comes from, right? So they made a lot of money, and then they sold businesses, and then they're paying it in form of a special dividend. Great time to be a Tiger Brands investor right now.